What is your diaper rash hack?
Oh, we don't get diaper rashes. My child is 7 months old, and I don't know if he's ever been introduced to a wet wipe. We bring these products in efforts to create a clean environment, and they're some of the most toxic things that we're exposed to, and they're undermining our immune system. Knowing that God made our bodies in such a way that we have so much power, and we are not the victim of our genetics. We're not the victim of some diagnosis or disease. As long as we are breathing, we can heal.
Today's guest is someone incredibly special, Allison Evans, co-founder of Branch Basics and a dear friend. Allison has an incredible personal story of healing, having overcome one of the most severe cases of PCOS her doctors had ever seen, all by removing toxic products from her home and embracing a clean lifestyle. Her journey didn't stop there. She also faced and healed from chronic pain, mold exposure, and Lyme disease. Now, a thriving mom of four, something that she once was told would be impossible. Allison is passionate about helping others experience the power of pure. She's a true believer in the body's God-given ability to heal when we simply get out of the way. Watch this episode on the Real Alex Clark YouTube channel or Culture Apothecary on Spotify. They have video now. And don't forget to leave a 5-star review. Make it juicy. It takes 2 seconds, and it's a very, very powerful, free way to support this show. Join the Cute Conservatives Facebook group if you are looking for like-minded female friends and fans of the show and want to discuss more of what was said in this episode. Please welcome co-founder of Branch Basics, Allison Evans, to Culture Apothecary. You went from chronic pain and being told that you would never have kids to having 4 children.
I still can't believe I have 4 children. He's only 6 months old, so I'm like, yeah, I do have 4 kids.
How did you do that?
God. But really, that's why the company exists, is our own personal health journeys. Because I started Branch Basics alongside my aunt and my best friend. But yeah, so I was diagnosed with the worst case of polycystic ovarian syndrome that my fertility doctor in Houston had ever seen. I was only in high school. I had had 1 period in 6th grade and then never had another period. So went in and got a sonogram, and my ovaries were literally covered in cysts. And I was given birth control. I was told that there was nothing that I could do about it. I remember specifically asking the nurse practitioner, who I now adore and we have a great relationship with, but at the time she was just in the dark about healing. And she basically said, no, this is becoming more and more common. There's really nothing that you can do to change it. You'll be on birth control indefinitely. You won't be able to have children naturally, but when you're ready to have children, come back and we will help make that happen.
Yeah, with IVF
like
or
Disney,
something.
where dreams come true. It's so I kind of owned that, honestly. I didn't have anyone speaking any other voice of reason into me. And so I kind of just wore that as I'm the girl with PCOS. I'm the girl that can't have kids naturally. Fast forward to college, and I started coming down with mysterious pain, literally from my neck to down my back, down my legs, sciatic nerve. I started with PT, acupuncture, rolfing, all the way to I'm getting regular steroid injections, painkillers, muscle relaxers, twice a day hydrocodone. I mean, I was in the pits. No doctor could agree upon what was really happening. There were some early signs of early stage MS. So Marilee, my hippie, crunchy, amazing co-founder aunt, at the time, I thought was just a little bit kooky, lived out in the hill country, didn't have a cell phone, used beet juice, and I'm thinking, what are you going to tell me? What value are you going to bring to me at 21 years old when I've been to the best doctors in the nation? But I had nothing to lose. And Alex, she started asking me questions that nobody had asked me. Where were you when the pain started? Had you recently moved or remodeled? Was there a mold exposure? Can you send me a 3-day diet diary? And I'm thinking, lady, what does this have to do with any of my symptoms? I have been to the best people in the country, and there's no credentials, that you have. What is this? But at the same time, there was this hope rising in me. Wait a minute. These questions are things that I have control over. I can change what I eat. I could change, she's asking me what cleaning products I'm using. She explained to me how all of these products have toxic chemicals in them. And yes, we can use them our entire lives. And yes, everyone around us can use them and seem like they're perfectly healthy and fine. But number one, is everyone healthy and fine, right?
Yeah.
Is the number one question. What is healthy? And two, we all have that spillover, right? Like we all have that threshold that, disease doesn't happen overnight. It's in the microdoses. So all of these products that I was using, like at some point, they're going to catch up to me. The things that I'm putting in my mouth, the things I'm putting on my body, the things I'm spraying around my home, using to clean, using in my laundry. We now know science shows that virtually every single disease, symptom, and malfunction of the body can be traced back to toxic accumulation, But at this time, this is 2007. So I'm like, okay, non-toxic, So anyway, I threw away the Windex and changed my laundry products, stopped eating Splenda. And I noticed that I was able to get off of a lot of the medications that I was on. The inflammation was decreasing. So I'm thinking we're onto something. So I went to live with Marilee in the hill country of Texas the summer of 2008 with my best friend Kelly, my roommate at the time. And that's basically when everything changed. We spent the summer eating real food for the first time. I didn't know that I wasn't eating real food. It turns out I probably hadn't gone a day in my life since my soy formula that I had not had fake food. In some version, right? So for 8 full weeks, we ate real food. We grounded. Like this was not a thing back then. We were drinking juice when everyone was drinking orange juice. Like we were putting something through a machine, like a lemon and a ginger and a beet. And like I had never seen kale go through a machine and come out as a liquid, right? Like nowadays, everybody, even if you're not drinking juice, like you know what it is. And I came off that summer off of all medication, no pain. I have not taken a prescription drug since.
Whoa.
Ended up going back to the original doctor. Of course, Marilee was like, get off with the birth control. That's not part of my, clean protocol. Went back to the same fertility doctor, I think it was about 10 months later, and the cysts were gone. And I still hadn't had my period. But after, I want to say 2 or 3 more years of just living this lifestyle, choosing clean things, I woke up one day and I had my second natural period of my entire life. We have tried, I'd like to say 3 times, and had 4 children, all born at home. I kind of went like the extreme opposite way, because once you feel it and know it, it's like the passion just rises up and you can't unknow it.
Well, you've said our bodies have this God-given power to heal if we just get out of the way. Yeah. And you kind of just got out of the way.
Yes. The quickest source of healing is to remove the thing that is holding you back, right? Like you don't step on a tack and go take a bottle of Advil. Like you remove the tack, And I think nowadays it's like we're trying to figure out what are the symptoms, what's the diagnosis, what is the treatment and medication I can put you on. It's about adding things. And like at Branch Basics, we're all about helping people heal by removing the hindrances so that our body can run in the God-given direction of healing.
Was it the cleaning supplies in your house that was the first thing that you kind of dumped and got rid of when you were starting this process?
Yeah, so we start with cleaning because it's the easiest first step, and it's one of the most toxic things that we're exposed to every single day. We all clean, like male, female, young, old, like we're always around cleaners, right? And sadly, the indoor air in our home is usually 2 to 5 times more toxic than outdoors, except after the home has been cleaned, it's up to 10 times more toxic. So the irony in that is so thick, right? We bring these products in efforts to create a clean environment, and they're some of the most toxic things that we're exposed to, and they're undermining our immune system. So when Marilee works with clients, which she has for 45 years. And I should tell her story kind of in a nutshell in a second. But she always starts with cleaning and pesticides, because those 2 things are some of the greatest underminers of our health. And a lot of the cleaning products actually have EPA-registered pesticides inside of them.
Okay, so tell me about her story.
Yeah. So Marilee grew up in Houston. She is in her mid-70s now. She was pre-med. Her mother died of cancer, and she was always going to be the girl that was going to cure cancer, right? So when she was in her 20s, she had basically kidney failure. She was going to go through dialysis, get a kidney transplant. The doctor said there was just no other way around it. And she had this kind of like mama bear thing rise up in her and say, I know there's another way. Like, I'm not going to do this right now. Of course, the doctors are like, no, like we're telling you need dialysis and you need a transplant. So she ended up finding out about the idea of food as medicine. Like during this kind of critical period of her life, she went 10 full days eating a fully medicinal, it was a macrobiotic specifically, but it was a medicinal diet. and all of her dialysis numbers were back in normal range. She avoided the transplant. And that's when she really understood this idea of using food as medicine. She actually became a macrobiotic chef at a resort in Jamaica.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
incredible. Okay, so but fast forward, and her son, who's my first cousin, is 10 years old, and he was exposed at school to a now banned pesticide called chlordane. So she picks him up from school. He was a, brilliant, obedient, athletic, strong, smart little boy, and he now cannot walk a straight line. His lymph nodes are swollen up like BBs. He's blue. His tongue is blue. He can't spell a 3-letter word. He was chemically injured. Just his brain and his immune system were just obliterated.
How did he come in contact with this? It was like on the recess field outside or something?
They had sprayed underneath the auditorium. It flooded, and the kids were all in the auditorium, and the water had come up, and so the pesticides, other kids were also exposed as well. So she was told, your child will be a bubble child. He will never recover. He'll be on 16 shots per day. You need to create a safe room for him, like basically a place that he can go and not have anything in it because he will react. His immune system is too badly damaged and the brain does not regenerate. Well, this was before we understood neuroplasticity and how much the brain can heal. But again, that same feeling rose up in Marilee, and she basically was like, I'm glad, with all respect, I'm glad you're not God. Like, watch my son heal. She takes him back home. She decides, I'm not going to create a safe room. I'm going to create a safe home for him. So this was really her aha moment about how much the environment also affects our health. So she understood the dietary piece. And then through Douglas's healing journey, he basically reversed through the autism spectrum. So he was severely autistic after this, like presenting in that way. 7 years, she says it would have gone much quicker had she had the information, but it was a trial and error. She and her son basically figuring this out. But after 7 years, he fully recovered. They lived outdoors in cots. He couldn't go inside the house. And so her aha moment was when she removed this last box of perfumes and lotions and scented sprays that she had. And she thought, I'm just going to see if that makes any difference. Like, there's no way this is going to work. This sounds so crazy, because he would come in the house. He would be super irritable. He couldn't stay for more than a few minutes. So she removes this box. Okay. The next day he comes in, she's making lunch, and he says, Mom, what'd you do? She's like, what do you mean? He's like, I feel fine. Like, what happened to the house? She's like, nothing. She didn't say a word to even her husband. And she's like questioning herself that night. They're sleeping outside again. They slept outside at night. And she's at the grocery store the next day, and she's going down the cleaning aisle, and she's like, oh my gosh. Like, I can smell all of these chemicals. They're sealed and shut. And yet my son is the canary in the coal mine. He is the one that's reacting on a parts per million, billion, even trillion level. And so that box was like his cleaning aisle, right?
Well, and she had started eliminating things. So her walking down the aisle and being able to pick it up, when you start eliminating the fragrance and the chemicals, you can smell that stuff from a mile away.
You're unmasked.
Yes, even when it is bottled up, because I can smell it too. I know exactly that feeling.
And we should be able to smell it. We shouldn't have this maladaptation where we're like, oh, I don't smell this. It's like, I always make the joke about a smoker, like you don't smell it and then you stop smoking, you can't be around it,
Yes.
So anyway, that was really the crux of his healing. That was the turning point, no pun intended, for him. But he fully recovered. He went to the Naval Academy. He was the first homeschooled child to get in, like top of his class athletically and academically. He has 3 kids. He's in his 40s. So it was just an amazing story. So after that, she became a environmental health consultant for people all over the nation. And that's when I entered her home, having 30 years of consulting.
And so you guys were like, based on this story, we've got to come up with like a cleaning product that's not going to have all
Kelly
this crap
and I would
in
take
it.
these walks with Marilee in the evenings and in the mornings, and no cell phones. We're like doing lymphatic work and enemas. We were like all in 2008. Okay.
You know what Gen Z calls going for a walk after dinner without your phone?
What?
A raw walk.
A raw walk. What a raw dog that walk. That is so good.
That's what they call it. They're like, we're going to go for a raw walk. There you go.
That's like so revolutionary.
Yeah, no, it's so funny.
We were raw walking all summer long, and we just kept saying, we've got to get your brain on the internet. We've got to get your brain on the internet. So that's when blogs were starting. Facebook was a thing, right? This was like before Instagram. Maybe Instagram was.
No, what did you say, 2008? Instagram was 2012.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
So
there you go.
before Instagram. This was MySpace.
Yeah, there. Okay. Yeah, we started blogging. Like, my mom and my dad would read it. We had nothing going on. And we were selling originally like air purifiers and infrared saunas and organic mattresses and water purification systems. And we had this one cleaning product But everyone just kept saying, I'm so overwhelmed. Where do I start? And that really kept going back to the cleaning.
So I was reading this article the other day about how most natural floss is still made with polyester and can be coated in PFAS, aka forever chemicals. Cute, right? Microplastics in your mouth? That's why I only use Zebra floss. It's made of real silk infused with peppermint oil and xylitol. It's tested for no detectable PFAS, and it's clean, effective, and doesn't have you wondering what the heck you just dragged across your gum line. And while we're talking oral care, if you haven't tried Zebra's toothpaste tablets, they're the easiest switch you'll ever make. No fluoride, no hydroxyapatite, just chew, brush, and done. It foams up like regular toothpaste, but it's totally clean. Even kids love them, and trust me, when a toddler asks to brush their teeth, you're gonna hold on to that magic, right? I know that from my mom friends. Don't wait until your mouth stages a rebellion. Head to yayzebra.com and use code ALEX for 10% off. That's yayzebra.com, code ALEX. Picture this. Every Sunday you do meal prep, okay? Big batch of chili, roast chicken, maybe a veggie curry. But here's the twist. You don't eat it all that week. You freeze dry it with your Harvest Right Home freeze dryer. And then you can take your Sunday meals and preserve them for years, not even just days, not weeks, years. So on those nights when you're exhausted, the fridge is empty, and you just got hit with a storm, you've got homemade meals ready to go. Just add water, heat, and done. And I grew up in the Midwest. I know what a Midwest stormy summer is like. It's healthier than takeout, it's way cheaper, and you never have to worry about what's for dinner. Meal prep isn't just for the week anymore, it's for the future. Build your food supply with real food you love. Visit harvestright.com. That's harvestright.com. What exactly are these chemicals doing to our bodies when we are cleaning with the conventional stuff?
We hear, oh gosh, these toxins are so bad, but it's until we are actually sick, we say that you either have to be really sick or really smart to jump on this train. What's really happening, they're creating oxidative stress in the body. They're lowering glutathione. Glutathione is our master antioxidant. In fact, studies show people that live the longest and have the least amount of disease have the highest amount of glutathione. So when you're, essentially being exposed to these toxins every single day, you are clogging those detox pathways. It's hard for chemicals to come in for nutrients to come in and chemicals to go out. You're creating DNA damage. And so we think, oh, I'm fine. I've been using these my whole life. They don't affect me. Well, then starting around 60s or 70s, all of a sudden, all these predisposed genetic things become expressed in your body and you wonder why. Well, there's a threshold, again, where there's a spillover, right? And then you have, from an endocrine standpoint, early onset puberty and, infertility and the cancers. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 2 men will get cancer in their lifetime. And these toxins are specifically studied to be shown that they are carcinogenic. They're crossing the blood-brain barrier.
Yeah.
They're creating brain fog and insomnia. So it's not just these kind of, oh gosh, these are not that good for us, but I'll be fine. It's like, are we fine?
And I would say the data points to not.
Right.
I love my best friend Nicole's husband. One thing that he does anytime they go out to eat, when they are wiping the table for them, he will pause them and he'll say, I'm so sorry, would you mind going into the kitchen and asking for some white vinegar? Can you just wipe our table with that instead? Yeah. And I'm like, what a man. Like, that is goals.
Seriously.
But yeah, they do that when they go out to eat, which I love.
That's so good.
Is it true that there is a cleaning chemical in conventional cleaning supplies that can make you fat?
What's funny is that I talk to nutritionists, and even my aunt will say, like, when you start talking to people about the health, ramifications of using cleaners and chemicals that have these endocrine disrupting ingredients inside, people are like, oh, well, but as soon as you mention that they are obesogens, they're like, oh, wait, so you're saying that I could maybe lose weight if I stopped using these things? And it's true. Marilee works with people all the time. They'll start working with her because their son is having a behavioral disorder, or their husband that's having some lung issues, or there's chronic eczema. One of their babies is having, colic, whatever it is. And the mom will call and say, I lost 12 pounds. I don't understand.
Cow.
She's like, oh, well, it's because all the plastic storage containers and the scented candles and the perfume and the harsh disinfectants and the dryer sheets. And these are all endocrine containing toxins that will latch to your hormone receptor sites and throw off your hormones. And you have to understand, too, that these chemicals have a metabolic impact in the body. So our God is so good. And when we inhale, absorb, or ingest these chemicals, in order to keep them from clogging up our vital organs and causing cancer of the organs, our body will actually store them in our fat cells because it's so smart. And when we have we've reached that threshold, our fat cells will either expand or they will reproduce. So we will literally create fat cells in order to buffer toxins from our organs. So yes, if you would stop, using some of these chemicals, a lot of times people will find that stubborn weight will come off.
We're told that the only way to get really bad germs when you're sick is that we have to use these disinfectant wipes. My question is, do you really need disinfectant wipes to have a truly clean home?
Yeah, never. Not once.
But what about the really bad germs?
I know, like the really bad ones, right? Never. And I will say this is from not just me and experience and like, okay, my co-founder and best friend Kelly, like her husband's he's a doctor and he was on the COVID team during COVID. I mean, he still was like, no, we don't need disinfectants in the house, But we're talking even the CDC, who I wouldn't say I trust them in all things, but regular soap and water will remove germs and still keep intact the good bugs, right? Versus using these disinfectants, which will quote unquote kill the bad stuff. It's not fully obliterated, plus they're killing the good stuff. So to kind of say that in a different way, and we bring these disinfectants in thinking that we are creating this germ-free environment, but we need the good, friendly germs to actually keep our immune system high. And so we're obliterating our microbiome. We are creating superbugs. So when we actually do need the antibiotics and the antibacterials, they're not even working. So I would say, guys, that you never really need the sanitizer and disinfectant, that it is doing more harm than good. Just get out the regular soap and water. We have, obviously, I love Branch Basics. It's a great gentle surfactant, but you don't need it. All you need to do is just spray with a gentle soap and wipe.
I have a theory, and this is going to be crazy to some people, but I refuse to use hand sanitizer. I feel like hand sanitizer is doing way more damage than helping. Would I be wrong or right?
Oh, 1,000% correct. And there's studies that show that the more sanitizer you use, especially on children, the higher the allergies, right? Because our skin is our largest organ. And so when we are breaking down that barrier, we have like antigens come in, like peanuts can actually now cross in through the skin. It's called the atopic march and can get into the bloodstream. And now we wonder why we're having so many nut and seed allergies, gluten allergies. A lot of times it's because we are just totally obliterating that skin barrier.
I walk into Whole Foods, I see this whole aisle of, allegedly like cleaning supplies and stuff. How much of those are actually safe, actually non-toxic, or are we just kind of getting tricked by a fancy label?
We are the most confused consumer. I mean, first of all, the cleaning product industry is unregulated. So whereas the food industry and the skin industry, you have to list all the ingredients, you do not have to do that. In the cleaning product industry. So essentially, we are the experiment, right? So until enough people get sick and enough people fight back, industry will say, oh, that's why we have tort law. Sue me, take me to court. But it's like the David and Goliath story that doesn't ever really work out, right? And so we have to be our own advocates here. We're not like Europe, where there's the precautionary principle says that a product is guilty till proven innocent. Like the products are innocent till proven guilty. So there are some cleaners that are better, yes, but sadly, even at Whole Foods, like there's so much greenwashing where you can have the words green or natural or the leaf or the lady or whatever it may be. And until you turn that bottle around and look at the ingredients, if the ingredients are not there, toss it out. There's something they're hiding, right?
Oh, okay.
But if there are ingredients, you want to start really with the last ingredients on the bottle, right? Because those are usually the most toxic. And people could argue, oh, but the dose makes the poison. It's just a small amount.
Mm-hmm.
But the study of epigenetics now shows that even a very tiny amount of a toxic chemical exposure can express a genetic gene. So if you have a predisposition to something, having that regular exposure to a chemical can honestly turn on that genetic expression.
Okay, so that's huge. Write that down, what she just said. That's huge. Have never heard that. Yeah. When you're looking at the label then on a cleaning product, what are some of the words that's like, oh, do not use this if it has this?
Great question. Okay, so one, if there's no ingredients, toss it out. If it says warning or danger, those are EPA kind of signal words. So it actually means that there are certain ingredients in there that kind of trigger the mandatory usage of those words. Mask, ventilation, or gloves required needs to go. Hazardous.
That's like any Lysol, Clorox type of stuff, right?
Which are all EPA registered pesticide containing ingredients and they're disinfectants. And we just covered that. You should never have those products in the home. They're unnecessary and they're undermining the immune system of everyone living in your home.
Wow.
Yeah. And honestly, even like skin, eye, and lung irritant, like you want to make sure that there are absolutely no irritations in this product. You should be able to hand it to your child. They should be able to clean their own messes with the cleaning product, right? And then the word fragrance or parfum, those are endocrine disrupting chemicals. And those two words have, hundreds and hundreds of chemicals that can be lumped over under them. So all of those need to go.
What do you think is like the biggest myth in non-toxic cleaning products?
That it doesn't work.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah.
Because there is this misconception, and here's what I want to discuss. We have been conditioned to believe, I think by marketing, that your home isn't clean if it doesn't have a certain smell.
Yes.
Or if it doesn't burn your skin when you use it, then it's not actually getting you clean. I think that those are all like marketing tools.
Totally. I mean, we've been lied to, and we need to retrain our brains. That's all I can say about that. Because like I mentioned, after a home gets clean, it's up to 10 times more toxic than it was before it was cleaned. You have a 64% chance of getting pulmonary illness, or higher chance of getting pulmonary illness as a professional cleaning person. I mean, these chemicals were never meant for the home. They were created for chemical warfare. They came into our homes after World War II, and we are in a giant experiment being around these chemicals every single day, using them around our children, wondering why our kids can't focus in class. They have brain fog. We can't sleep. We have eczema. We have headaches. We just keep piling on more medication when really, what if we needed to just go around our house and remove the very things that are creating the symptoms in the first place?
Okay, so what about your kid smears poop on the wall or whatever? I mean, bleach, no?
Not necessary. I mean, truly. So number one, which is really interesting, if you read the fine print of a disinfectant, you are actually supposed to clean a surface before you disinfect.
What?
So the disinfectant claims of saying we will kill 99.99% of bacteria, that is after that surface has been cleaned. It is not
weird.
Part of the cleaning process. Is that kind of crazy? No
Yeah.
one talks about this,
No,
right?
I didn't even know that.
You think I'm just going to spray this. That's part of the cleaning. It's not. So first you clean the surface and then you disinfect. But like I said, the idea of removal is actually getting rid of more germs and toxins than the idea of killing.
If how to get clear skin is somewhere on your search history, same. And that's exactly why I started drinking Cowboy Colostrum every day. This isn't just another beauty supplement. It is literally nature's first food, packed with skin-supporting nutrients like vitamins A and E and natural growth factors that support your gut, reduce inflammation, and not only help clear up your skin, but make it radiant and help your immune system. Plus, it's full fat, it's unstripped, meaning all the natural goodness is still intact, just how your body likes it. Cowboy sources only the first 4 to 6 hour milking colostrum, which is when it's the most nutrient-rich. You'll feel it, trust me. My skin's clear, my digestion's better, and I just feel more stable. Like my body's not running on empty. If you're ready to support your skin, your gut, and immune system all in one scoop, go to cowboycolostrum.com, use code ALEX for 25% off your first order. That's cowboycolostrum.com, code ALEX. Sip your way to clear skin. In basically every tragic American health story, there's one common thread: waiting too long to look under the hood. We wait until something feels wrong, right? We don't get blood work done often enough, or worse, the tests we get are so basic, they miss what's really going on. Gevity is the exact opposite of that. It's proactive health optimization based on deep data. So Gevity sends a phlebotomist to your home. In under 5 minutes, you're gonna do a 90 biomarker blood test. Yes, 90. Then you will get a virtual consultation with a personalized health team, and they're gonna build you a plan based on your results. That's supplements, peptides, even access to advanced testing like a Dutch or GI map. All of it is designed to help optimize you now, so you're not playing catch up later. And all of that is only $129 a month with continuous support anytime you need it, retesting every 6 months in an app where your whole plan lives. Be proactive, not reactive. Go to gogevity.com, use code ALEX for 20% off your first purchase. That's gogevity.com, code ALEX. So what was like the one cleaning product that was conventional that you loved and it was the hardest for you to give up? And then what do you now use instead?
I mean, that's tough because I was in college, and to be honest, I just probably wasn't cleaning as much as I should have. But I would say Windex. I mean, I'm not one. We do not name other names, but I feel like that's a pretty generic name. I can say that one gets to me the most. But now knowing what I know, it's probably laundry. I mean, because when you think about it, like your laundry follows you around everywhere you go. You are never not with your laundry. Like you're naked in the shower and you probably have a washcloth that was laundered, right? Like you cannot
Jeez.
escape your laundry. It
You're
is
so
coursing through your veins right now. I mean, if we took your blood and sent it to some German lab, they could probably tell you what you use in your laundry. And I could probably tell you when I hug you, not you, because I know you use Branch Basics, but I'm just saying, it's one of those things that our bodies are made to restore and regenerate. Our liver and our gallbladder clear naturally at night, but they can't when we are breathing deeply into a pillowcase that contains carcinogens and endocrine disrupting toxins and obesogens and skin irritants and lung irritants, and we wonder why we're having all these symptoms. So I would say laundry is number one.
Do toxins affect kids different than adults?
Yes. Adults are not little humans. Like they're not. They pound for pound, they are breathing, drinking, absorbing. They have more skin pound for pound than adults. And their immune systems are not yet fully developed. And I think, what's happening with these children is so sad because, I mean, Alex, like I have 4 children and 2 of them are getting to the age where they're starting to have opinions about things and they're wanting, to bring home this party favor or this scratch and sniff, whatever it is. And I have to sit down and explain to them, hey guys, like I love you too much to let you use these things. And I know I may seem extreme right now, but what's extreme is that so many kids your age are suffering unnecessarily. And so my way of loving you is to keep you from these toxins. And I think that honestly is questioning status quo and allowing a child to think critically are lessons that they should have for life anyway. So if by all means, if I need to use toxins to help usher them into that new way of thinking, like so be it.
How can somebody on a really tight budget still make their home safer without buying a bunch of expensive non-toxic products?
Oh, you just remove everything. You don't need to buy anything non-toxic. I mean, that is probably the number one message that I want to get across here today is that living a non-toxic clean life is not some bougie thing where you need to go out and invest in all these amazing non-toxic treatments or even supplements. Like we're talking go back to basics, like eat real food, open your windows, take your shoes off, filter your water. Like we have on our website, we have so many different ways like you can do these things in a budget-friendly manner. If you can't afford an air purifier, get a 20 by 20 box fan and a Filtrete filter and stick that on the back and filter your air and get rid of your perfumes, get rid of your scented lotions, get rid of all these things we think we need.
Yeah.
It's
like the hack is actually you don't need to keep buying more.
No.
It's actually get rid of.
Yes. And I send product to people all the time because I own the company and I'm like, I'd love to see my product. And I'm like, but there is one thing I'm asking you to do is do not sit it next to your Clorox bleach and your Windex because the point of me sending you this is so that you can remove the toxins. I'd rather you never buy Branch Basics and never use Branch Basics and get rid of your toxins and use vinegar and water and baking soda and hydrogen peroxide and go to your bar and get some vodka because that's what you really need to disinfect, than feel like you need to go buy some expensive cleaning products.
And I think what's also cool about Branch Basics is it's literally one product.
Yeah. I mean, economic wise, people are like, oh, but is it too expensive? I'm like, nope, it's not. I mean, when you break it down, it's a concentrate. And then once you dilute it, you're virtually cleaning your entire home with one thing. And it comes down to less than $3 per spray bottle. So it's absolutely, not a bougie way to clean.
What is one surprising place in the home that is hiding toxins that people don't usually think about?
Your walls.
Mold?
Walls. No, not even mold. I'm talking the dust on your walls. So we have a deep clean protocol that is similar to what a mold company would do when they're doing like a remediation and abatement process. But it is what, if we're really smart and we think about how our home is where we are healing, we can't control things outside of our home. But when we come inside of our home, that is the place we restore and we heal and we rejuvenate. And if we could invest in a true deep clean where we are getting a HEPA vacuum, and we have a whole protocol on our website, but you literally HEPA vacuum your walls. If you put a new filter in your vacuum and you HEPA vacuum your walls and you open up that vacuum filter,
it
will be full of dust. And we have to remember that those chemicals that we bring inside of our homes, the candles, the dryer sheets, even the previous owners from the pesticides that were sprayed, they ride on dust. So when we remove the dust, we are actually removing the flame retardants from our furniture. There's flame retardants right here, right? Yep. And so the dust is going to have walls that contain the flame retardants that are outgassing from the things in our home. So I would say our walls are like a sneaky toxic thing. And if we could really do a wipe down once a year, it would be amazing.
How does your faith affect your non-toxic living?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, People ask Kelly and I a lot, like, how are you not so freaked out by this or that? Like, because I have Jesus. I believe that this is my calling. Like, I believe that I am here on this earth to help people understand the ramifications of toxins and how we can live the power of pure. Without him, like, none of it matters. And the thing is, he is so much bigger than the most toxic thing that we are exposed to. So I think as a Christian, like, we're called to step it up and do the good that we know and not to conform to this world and to steward our bodies and to present our bodies as living sacrifices. That's what I always say to my kids. I'm like, listen, like, this is the body of the Holy Spirit, like, we got to treat this thing right. It's not even ours.
Yeah. We're borrowing it.
Yeah, exactly. And so I always bring faith into it, but our mission is for everybody. We always say we are not a company. Yes, the 3 founders are strong Christians, and we're really strong about that. And if you follow us, you'll figure that out. But our message is for everybody.
What does the name Branch Basics mean?
Yeah, so it's based on John 15:5. I'm the vine, you are the branches. We were originally calling ourselves 3 Branches Healthy Living because we thought there's 3 of us, and then Branch Basics kind of just became like an offshoot of that. So
you're raising these 4 little non-toxic kids. Yeah. And obviously not everybody raises their kids like you. What sorts of differences health-wise do you notice in your kids versus other families' kids?
That's a good question. I mean, one, like, I never, ever want to sound judgmental. And we tell our kids all the time, listen, we are the Evans family and we make different choices. And just because something is easy does not mean that it's right. And, we bring faith back into that as well. We take the narrow road, the road less traveled when it comes to the things we use and the things that we eat. But I will say, I actually have some hard facts about my 8 and 6-year-old. I did genetic testing on them because I have Lyme disease. I wanted to see what was kind of going on with their methylation pathways and help make sure that they were strong. And we got the report back from them, and the medical doctor that was on the geneticist team basically reached out and said, this child is so lucky to have you as a mom. I think she knew like what I do for a living. I mean, she might have like seen it in my signature. She said she has the markers for extreme ADHD, eczema, behavioral disorders. My child is the most focused, non-allergic, beautifully skinned. I mean, she doesn't have any of the things that could have been genetically expressed. And I truly believe it's because we have chosen this pathway. And, like I said, the epigenetics shows how much our choices are affecting our health. And even if we have the dirtiest genes, they don't have to be expressed. We can make choices that will actually suppress those genes. Like, genetics loads the gun, but our environment and our dietary choices are what pull the trigger.
You guys know that I'm all about natural, effective ways to support your body, and acupuncture has made a huge difference in how I feel. But I'll be honest, I don't have time to drive across town, sit in a waiting room, and then get all this stress when I'm supposed to be going to something that's to help me feel less stressed. That's why I started using California Mobile Acupuncture. And now they're in Arizona too, Arizona Mobile Acupuncture. They come straight to your house or even your office and give you a full personalized treatment. Acupuncture, cupping, medical massage, it's all included in one session. Their practitioners are incredible, totally root cause focused. They're licensed, their experience truly focused on you. Whether you're working through hormone issues, fertility, chronic pain, sleep, or just want to feel more balanced and focused, they've got you covered. And what I love most, they're rooted in faith, family, and freedom. And they really believe in the healing wisdom God gave our bodies. Just text or call 949-228-9588 and mention this podcast for $50 off your first treatment. Or go to CaliforniaMobileAcupuncture.com or ArizonaMobileAcupuncture.com to book. Text or call 949-228-9588 or go to ArizonaMobileAcupuncture.com or CaliforniaMobileAcupuncture.com to see why I've made acupuncture a part of my weekly wellness routine. You know what nobody tells you about adulting? That your 5 to 9 after work is just as important as your 9 to 5. And if you're tossing in bed, sweating through your sad sheets from college, it's time to level up. I made the switch to Cozy Earth's bamboo sheet set, and it's one of the best decisions I've made for my sleep and my sanity. These are made from 100% premium viscose from bamboo, and I'm telling you, they are next level. Lightweight, super breathable, and they somehow feel cool all night long. I didn't know sheets could actually help regulate your body temperature, but now I literally look forward to getting getting into bed. They offer a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty, so there's no risk in trying them. Go to CozyEarth.com, use code ALEX for up to 40% off. That's CozyEarth.com, and don't forget to tell them that you heard it here by taking the post-purchase survey. Seriously, treat your sleep like it matters. CozyEarth.com, code ALEX for 40% off. How does the co-founder of one of the most non-toxic brands in the entire country handle being gifted like, Bath and Body Works lotion, or you're like at something where you like get a gift like that, or you're at someone's home and like the only soap there is to use is like conventional soap? Like, what do you do?
Thankfully, I feel like most people kind of know by now, but it still happens. It definitely still happens a lot. And so like I've trained my kids, like we don't use restaurant soap. We don't use any soap when we're at, when we're out.
Do you just not wash your hands, or do you bring your
We do not.
stuff?
So ideally we have Branch Basics on us and we'll spray and rinse, right? But I would rather not wash my hands, and I would rather get some dirt and grime and germs in their bodies than obliterate their microbiome.
So I feel the same way, but I haven't been able to get the courage to like see people in the bathroom and then just walk out and not wash my hands when I'm in public, because I'm like the judgment of like, what a nasty girl.
Totally. So I'm in the stall the other day and my 6-year-old comes out and she clearly wasn't washing her hands. And she was about to leave the bathroom, and there was a woman that was standing out there, probably just being like a sweet, kind of grandma figure, and was like, "Oh, sweetheart, do you want to wash your hands?" She goes, "Oh no, I don't use the toxic things." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm sitting in the stall. I'm like, "I think I'm going to stay in here a little bit longer before I walk out." I'm like, "That mom, you know,
that was my kid." If you're using the typical dishwasher pods that you can get at any grocery store, are you eating those chemicals?
Oh, 100%. And the thing is, you don't realize it until you stop, okay? And then you start using something that's cleaner, and you go to a friend's house or you go back home to your parents and you are using the dishes that you used growing up, and they're still washing them with the same thing that you used growing up, and you never tasted it growing up, and now you're spitting out your food.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my gosh, I can literally taste the fill in the blank. It's absolutely, think about that. I mean, not only is the plastic wrap around the pod, ours are plastic free, by the way, those microplastics are being heated in a metal container with a bunch of heat. So the volatile organic compounds are being, expressed even more.
Yeah.
Plastic is not a tightly bound molecule, so it's going to ingress into whatever it's coming in contact with, i.e. your dishes. But then you have fragrance, and you have chemicals that are actually put into these products that give it that like staying factor, like phthalates make fragrances stick and adhere, right? So these phthalates and chemicals that are inside those dish pods are literally ending up in our bodies.
Your dishwasher pods or whatever, however you call them, tablets, are like probably one of my favorite Branch Basics products.
That.
Yeah, I like love those.
Oh,
I go through those.
good.
Like I really, really like the
I love
dishwasher
hearing
ones. Do you trust non-toxic non-stick pans?
Ooh, Alex, good one. Okay, I do until I don't. Meaning, if you use a metal, utensil, and you're scraping those eggs off and you see any sort of chipping, that thing is trash, in my opinion.
Yep.
Like, you really don't want to see any chipping at all. And it's just hard because they don't have the forever chemicals in them. Then the kind of adhesion is not forever, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, so the conventional nonstick pans have forever chemicals, and that's what makes them so strong. And they can withstand all this kind of banging and cooking and high heat. So, I mean, there's definitely better brands out there. And Maiden, Caraway, the Always pan, but they just don't last too long.
So this is my argument to Allison, is that when I tell people like I would not use those, I think it is a huge waste of money.
Yeah.
It's because why in the world, like you can't even use them over more than medium heat.
Right.
And I feel like they do get trashed within like a year or two. It's like, and they're so expensive.
Yes.
But you're right, because they're not using the toxic stuff, then they just fall apart. So my thing is like, it's a waste of money. They literally fall apart. Like it's not an investment. I, have stainless steel all-clad pans that I know if I take care of these, I could literally pass them down to my child for their first home or whatever. Like these are ones that they can be multi-generational. The stainless steel, the cast iron literally last multiple
ceramic,
generations.
and it heats more evenly. It cooks the food better. Like the energetics in the food is better. That sounds woo-woo, but it really is the way to go.
We spend a third of our lives on our mattress.
Yeah.
Are you using organic mattresses in your house?
Oh, yeah. It's the most important piece of furniture in your home.
What brand do you like?
Hands down. So Savvy Rest and Avocado are what we have in our home right now. We have an original OMI, but that's the thing about organic mattresses is they last. I will pass those down as well.
Yeah.
And my mattress that I sleep on right now, I want to say is 5 years old, but the one before that, my husband and I shared a queen, like our first, 13 years of marriage. And now my daughter sleeps on it.
So with, what do they say? You're supposed to replace your mattress every 8 years or something?
Oh, that's if it's fake and made of plastics and can.
Oh,
Yeah. If you have a solid, like you have latex and wool and you have these natural materials, they're not going to attract the dust mites because they're natural insect repellents in the wool.
Because see, for me, I'm like, man, these are way more expensive, and then you got to buy that every several.
Oh, the
years.
whole replace after 8?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't apply to organic mattresses.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I didn't know that. Kids' toys, people don't think about that. But there are toxic chemicals in kids' toys that we should really be looking out for. Like, does the material of a child's toy really matter?
Yeah, I mean, listen, developmentally, I'm always about using wood and using more natural materials because it helps kids actually understand the weight of the material. And I just think it's important to mimic nature as much as possible. Do my kids play with magnet tiles and Legos? Heck yes. You know, I'm not going to be some like extreme. I mean, they're not eating them, right? Like we're not rubbing them all over our bodies in, hot water. But yeah, I think especially when they're young, like I have a 7-month-old and there's no reason for that kid to ever come in contact with anything of plastic. Not a thing, and there's so many great options out there. I mean, you can Amazon like awesome, solid, great toys.
So are you doing glass baby bottles and stuff?
Oh, heck yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everything you're putting in that bottle, like whether you're using formula or breast milk, that is a high fat, usually a little bit warm, kind of heated material. So that plastic is going to transfer readily into the contents of that bottle, and your baby's just drinking plastic. And again, like when you have alternatives that are easy to get, that work, that, you can put a silicone sleeve around the glass. So, I mean, we've never broken one. They're a one-time purchase. My question is like, why not?
What is your like diaper rash hack?
Oh, we don't get diaper rashes.
Interesting. You think that has to do more with the product on the child?
I think it has to do with what I'm eating when I'm nursing my baby. 100%. That has a lot to do with it. And then I think it has a lot to do with these wipes. There's not a wipe on the market right now that I would use. I do not use a wet wipe on my child.
So what do you do?
If you think about wipes and you think about the manufacturing process of a wipe, even the cleanest one out there, I don't approve of it because you have to use a certain amount of preservation because you're introducing a liquid to a cloth and you're going to have mold within 5 to 7 days unless you have preserved that liquid enough. Okay. So just because it's the last ingredient, just because it's that 0.1%, again, we're going back to epigenetics. So you're introducing this preservative, which is usually an EPA registered pesticide. Think about this, onto the genitalia, really highly absorbent area of a child multiple times a day. Okay, so it is going into their system. And when the thing about the skin is because it's one organ, you're not just putting it on that one area. It becomes systemically available in the body within seconds. Like you can rub garlic on your foot and you can taste it in your mouth within a few minutes.
No, okay, now I got to try that.
We should try that right now.
That is wild.
Right?
Somebody do that. Some homeschool family do that.
We should do that right now. So you're rubbing this preservative on your baby every single day, and we wonder why it's red and why it's irritated, and then they get a rash, and then we just put some sort of petroleum type ingredients on top to quell the rash instead of thinking, what should we take away that's irritating my child?
Well, I'm tracking with you. Now my mind is blown, but I'm like, okay, I'm with you. But then what are you doing?
What do you use? I do wipe my children. Isn't that crazy?
I'm assuming just water and a cloth?
Actually use, Honest Company makes these really great dry wipes that come in like a wipes container. I Amazon them. I'm on subscription with them. And then I spray either the all-purpose Branch Basics or I just spray water and I make my own water wipe. And I have the spray bottle and I have the wet wipe. Y'all, it takes an extra 5 seconds. Like my child is 7 months old and I don't know if he's ever been introduced to a wet wipe.
Whoa. And then what brand of diapers?
We use Coterie right now. I'll kind of switch. Hero, Hiro, I recently was introduced to, and they're like super, super clean. I feel like you could even like put them in the earth and they become like a plant or something crazy. I think you can bury them.
What should you look for when buying candles?
I love candles. We actually just came out with a candle last year. And with candles, you want to make sure that it is 100% beeswax. We are all about fragrance free. when your candle has essential oils, you want to make sure that they are solvent-free, organic, wild-crafted essential oils. Because if you think about what's happening with a candle, it is creating a smoke. That smoke particulate is one of the worst because they are so tiny they can get lodged in your lungs. And so you're basically smoking off those chemicals into a readily available pulmonary irritant. You know what I mean? So make sure that your candles are 100% beeswax. Even the wick should be free of any sort of additives, petroleum. You want it to be 100% organic cotton, ideally. Yeah, so you can burn clean.
What is an exciting announcement that Branch Basics has?
Well, should we drop the news?
Yeah.
We are officially in Target.
Wow.
I know. As we speak now, we're not, and as we air, we are, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
How did
pretty
that
exciting. Feel? You know, I got the call from my CEO about a year ago, and I'm going to be really honest. I had some mixed feelings. I mean, Branch Basics is our baby, and it was like a call saying like, "Hey, I'm going to take your kid to boarding school." Wait, no, we're still in the small phases. No, I'm not ready yet. And it just felt like such a huge step, and we had a lot of reservations about, we have owned the relationship with our customer from the very beginning. I mean, the company is about 15 years old, and I recognize so many of our customers. I mean, I'm in our DMs personally all the time. We have a Slack channel through our Toss the Toxins program where customers can come, or followers. Even if you're not a customer, you can just be a follower of ours. We have a lot of those who don't even use our product, but we talk to them directly. We answer all of our DMs. We get hundreds and hundreds of DMs a day. So many things are about health and not even about cleaning. So like, we love that community that we've built around our brand. And we are by far more of a community and a content creator type company than we are commerce and product. So the Target thing felt like, gosh, like, are we selling out? And then, like, honestly, the more Kelly and Marilee and I prayed about it, like, it became so clear that like our goal has been from the very beginning to become a household name so that we can educate people through our products. And Target seems like the most amazing first step for us because the breadth and the availability of our message now to toss the toxins, to go back to basics. Here is an alternative if you want, but don't even buy our product. Go follow us and get a bunch of free information. Like, to be able to partner with Target and in efforts to help people heal is just such an opportunity for us.
And what you guys sell at Target is Branch Basics in a plastic bottle, which you have that option, which is less expensive.
Yes.
But then also on your website, which is what I use, you guys sell these stunning,
aren't they great?
Glass spray bottles. They're so beautiful. It looks beautiful on your counter, beautiful in your cabinet. And they have like a little color sticker. So you're like, oh, the green one is for my bathroom, or the orange is for the
in silicone sleeves so they don't break.
Yes, in silicone sleeves. And so they're really nice. And you just buy those one time, and then you buy your bottle of the concentrate. Now, when I first got this, I was overwhelmed. I feel like I texted you and I was like, Allison, so wait, this one product does everything? All the rooms in my house? This does my bathrooms, it does my floors, it does my kit. Like, so explain the concentrate from Branch Basics, what all it's capable of.
Yeah. So we have a human safe, okay? That is what differentiates us from every single product on the shelf because our ingredients are so clean. We have third-party skin irritation and ocular testing that show we're basically as clean as the control, which is water. So we have zero irritation in our product. I bathe my babies with it. I clean my floor with it.
You can use it as body wash?
It's the only thing my kids have used on their bodies.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. Oh, I remove my eye makeup with it. I put it in my window washer, liquid. Like, we literally use it for everything.
Wait, that's hilarious that you use it as your window
right.
windshield
It's
washer.
Like one of my best hacks. I love it. But yeah, so it's a 32-ounce concentrate. And it comes with spray bottles. So you never just buy the concentrate. We have a starter kit, right? For $55 is like the kind of the basic starter kit. It goes up from there in terms of glass, or if you want to add the dish tabs or the laundry powder. It comes with an all-purpose, a bathroom, a streak-free, and a foaming hand wash. All of these bottles are empty. They're either glass or plastic. They have on the sides a fill line that says water and then soap right above it. So there's an exact ratio of what you use in each bottle, and you pour according to the fill line. It is DIY for those who feel like they want to be DIY, but it's not. It is very easy and streamlined.
So you do the water first, you fill the water up, and then you just
add a little bit of the concentrate. Okay. Yeah, based on the bottle. I'm talking from toilets to windows to floors to babies to hands. I mean, it takes care of everything, and you never have to buy those bottles again. If they break, we'll send you a new one. So we have 80,000 people on subscription. So they're just buying a concentrate. So we also make an oxygen boost, which is a sodium percarbonate and sodium bicarbonate mixture. And it's basically boosting the power of the concentrate. So it cleans grout, it cleans porcelain, sticky eggs stuck on your pan when you burn them every single morning. Put it in your laundry so it boosts your whites and brightens your brights. I never do a load of laundry without the oxygen boost. I will say, though, we just came out with a laundry powder that kind of the OGs, and I am still using the concentrate and the oxygen boost for laundry, but you don't need to anymore. We basically combined the two into one powder for those folks who didn't want to do the 2 steps. It's just 1 scoop of laundry powder in the drum.
On your all's laundry powder, do you put it in like the little pull-out drawer or whatever, or do you throw it loose on your laundry?
Loose under the laundry, ideally, and then you put the laundry on top.
Oh, like you put it loose in
on
the drum?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
This isn't, that's very helpful for me.
I need to come over and do your laundry.
Yeah. I love that you guys have the mini concentrate. You have like a mini trio or something like that, like a travel size of Branch Basics.
TSA approved. So good. Yes. I mean, I use it all the time, guys. I got a stain on something from last night after having dinner with you. I looked down and I had a stain on my shirt. I literally got home to my hotel, plunged the sink up, put a little bit of the Branch Basics concentrate in some warm water, put the shirt in overnight, pulled it out this morning, and the stain is completely gone.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah,
okay. And I
great.
have a discount with them, Alex15, if you guys want to try Branch Basics. It really is like the creme de la creme of non-toxic cleaners. I'll never use anything else. It's like, it has been the best godsend to me. And man, it felt so nice too, especially being someone that's in a very tiny 1-bedroom apartment. I do not have extra space.
Yeah.
Being able to throw out all this other cleaning crap and just have one thing was such a lifesaver and a breath of fresh air, literally, because I have extra room.
You streamline everything and you realize you don't really need a cleaner for everything. We have been so brainwashed. And what I want to say is like, if people would really think about the cleaning aisle, it's kind of like the water aisle, but then you've added some toxic chemicals to the water aisle, right? I mean, you're essentially selling water. People are transporting water across the country. And so it's nice to be able to just, have it in that concentrated form.
If you could offer one remedy to heal a sick culture, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, what would it be?
I would say taking charge of your health. Number one, faith, but just like knowing that God made our bodies in such a way that we have so much power and we are not the victim of our genetics. We're not the victim of some diagnosis or disease. As long as we are breathing, we can heal. And the power of removal, which is really the mission and message of Branch Basics, is to get back to basics and allow our bodies to do what they were meant to do.
Allison, I love that I got to have you because you and I have become friends now.
It's been so fun.
And I've gotten to become friends with you and Taylor Dukes and Bethany, who's the CEO of Primally Pure, and Kelly,
and
the other
Kelly,
co-founder of Branch Basics. And it's just been so fun. Like, these are all amazing, God-fearing, exciting, encouraging, godly women that have just been such a blessing in my life. So
speak into each other's lives. It's been beautiful.
It's been so nice. And it's just been like the most beautiful friendship that has naturally blossomed. And then it was honestly like meeting you guys through Taylor. And then it was like, oh, well, we love this and we're friends and like we want to sponsor the show. And it's been like such a cool little thing that has developed. Yeah. And we just align on all the same values. And so it was exciting for me to be able to talk about you guys and introduce you to my audience. And, I'm very picky about who I work with. And so it's just been the best little
We love our Alex Clark.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I love Allison, and I never get tired of hearing her story. She walks the walk, and her entire family is a testament to that. Don't forget to use code ALEX15 at branchbasics.com if you want to try out the Branch Basics concentrate. We're on a mission to heal a sick culture. Twice a week, new guests bring their own unique remedy to do just that. Subscribe to Real Alex Clark on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at Real Alex Clark or the show at Culture Apothecary. I'm Alex Clark, and this is Culture Apothecary.